Welcome to the workshop. I'm Chris Fry. So we've been working on our guard. This is the new guard. Let me spin this around and I can show you the old stuff. That's the old one, that's the old pommel, and that's a new pommel. Let me try and actually get that focused in. Spin it around. Hello. So yeah, I want to take this and we're going to go over to the mill and put this into the mill. I need a slot in it, and I might face this off a little bit. I'm going to shape it up with the grinder and stuff. This is still going to be bent and hammered, so we're still going to get a forged finish on it, so it's still going to be okay even though we've used a few machines. So going to do that today, get this fit. And I need to get the blade ground so that the tang will fit as well, so that I can actually make the slot in here. So I'm going to work on the tang, I think. Make sure the sword is the correct thickness, and then I need to start doing the bevels on it, which is going to lighten it all up. So yeah, that's the plan for this video. I don't know if we're going to get to it all, but let's see.
Using a carbide end mill here. I've sped up the footage obviously. The blower on there is just running off a compressed air. I can run coolant through it, but I didn't. Yeah, being a dick.
So I'm going to grind off that bit. It's got inclusion.
So the inclusion on the blade, what an inclusion is where two pieces of metal meet together but don't weld properly. And that's caused because of my hammering technique basically. But I did manage to force that inclusion up to the tip, so it meant I didn't have to grind off too much material. Just removing the rest to make it easier to grind in the tip there. Checking straightness. Just kind of trying to take some of the bumps at the back. That's a carbide faced guide that I'm fitting to the blade there. That should help set the ricasso area of the blade so that I can get a nice clean cut off the grinder. Using the small wheel attachment to get into the areas of the shoulders, and then finish them off in the vise with some files.
Later. Okay, so I did get somewhat distracted. I might have done some work around the anvil. Basically, I made up some rails to hang all my hammers on. I put the blowtorch holder in there. I've got a little tray at the back for my punches, so that's all good. I have been getting distracted, but I have been doing the sword as well. So you saw there I filed these shoulders. What I've got on here at the moment is a carbide file guard, carbide faced file guard. So basically, if you take a file, you can't damage the carbide with it, but it will damage the steel if it's soft. So we can get into the corners of the tang here. A couple of things I've got as well. These are things I picked up actually watching Alex Steele's channel. Chainsaw files. Super hard because they're for sharpening chainsaw blades, but they also really good because they come in some really small sizes compared to standard shop bought files, the round ones, so you can get a much finer radius in these edges, in the corners here, with the chainsaw file. So that's a good tip. Thanks, Alec. Right, so we do have another distraction that I want to sort out before continuing with the sword. I just want to quickly, I realise I'm going to have to sit down a lot to do the filing for this, and I've got a stool here that I'm sitting on. Boop. There we are. Now, what I want to do is to use some material and foam, which is over here. Hang on, let me grab it. So, I've got some upholstery foam, and this is an offcut of leatherette. It's not real leather, it's just a fabric. I just needed something to cover it, and I had it on hand. These are left over from my restaurant. Yes, I had a restaurant, Fry's American Barbecue. You can look it up. It doesn't exist anymore. That's a long story, we won't go into that. But yeah, these are left over offcuts, so I'm going to use them to pad this seat.
So yeah, just drawing around it with a Sharpie here, and then using a hobby knife, not a utility knife, to cut around the foam. With a fresh blade in it as well. That's important. You can use a bandsaw with a scalloped blade to cut foam. It's obviously, you know, that's quite a good thing to do if you have a bandsaw, but this is the simplest method. Spraying it up with a contact adhesive. It's a non-branded one, and then spray the opposite side on the stool. Let it dry to go tacky before sticking them together, and then it should, giving it a little bit of pressure, stick. There you go, with the cigarette hanging out of my mouth. And then I contact adhesive it to the fabric using a staple gun and some 6mm staples. I staple it all the way around. I'm not overly fussed about the pleats on this, as it's not obviously, you know, proper upholstery or anything. I'm just kind of creating something.
Alright, now using your favourite utility knife, and this is a utility knife, not a hobby knife. This that we used for the foam earlier is a hobby knife. It is not a utility knife. These are sometimes also called Stanley knives, because Stanley, I think, were the original company that made them. Anyway, I love this one. This is my favourite because you take the blade, push this button here, and you can take the blade completely out, right? Not only that, if I let go of the button, retract, I've got a new blade immediately. It doesn't slow me down. The only thing is you only end up using one side, so you have to put them all back in again the other way around. So you just open it up, pop it back in, and you haven't got a blade kicking around. Right, I'll put a link to this. Actually, I've got this on Amazon. Amazon link in the description below. Of course, it supports the channel. I need to make a living, frankly. So, yeah, let's start cutting this away. I'm cutting it horizontal first. Right. There's this here. That could do with stapling. There we go. This is a bit long around here, so at all. I'm quite pleased with that. I mean, yeah, it's not exactly symmetrical on this, the pleats and things like that, but it was the first attempt at it. I think it's turned out all right. It's done exactly what I need it to. It's given me a cushion, so it doesn't hurt my bottom when I'm filing. Cool. Right, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like. And yeah, see you on the next one. Welcome to Nico Props. I'm Chris Fry, and on this short video we are making or covering a stool. for the workshop. I need it so that basically when I'm filing I'm not sitting on a constant hard surface. So let's dive into that. We're going to go backwards in time to when I didn't have the cover on, and I'll speak to you then.